Hey everyone, it's Brendan Barca here with the Straddle the Line blog for my second ever video. Last week we talked about the importance of and how to set up your first informational interview and really why that's so critical to going through a career change. And in this video today, what I want to talk about is within the informational interview itself, how to conduct the introductory portion. So really the first 5 minutes and why they're so critical to setting the framework for that entire discussion. And setting really come down to three major themes or three major parts. First of all, the small talk up front. Secondly, thanking them for their time. And then lastly, setting an agenda or a loose agenda for your discussion that day. So in terms of the first part with the small talk, while this might sound like something that you might know intuitively, I think it's very important to notice that the small talk that you bring up with the interview person must be appropriate. So first of all, I want to stay away from politics or anything that could be controversial, whether it's with your company or theirs, and keep it simple about things like the weather, the commute, or really any day-to-day sort of activities that both you and the person could have in common. And you want to keep that small talk portion to about only a minute or two in the conversation so it doesn't really eat up the full 30 minutes that you usually have for informational conversation. And then keep in mind that it'll be your job to transition away from the small talk and into the meat of your discussion. So one easy way to do that is to then go into the second part which is thanking them for their time. So after the small talk starts to simmer down, you want to lead the way and thank them for their time this morning and setting some time aside for you. And then from there, what you can do is go into the agenda. And this is where you just want to loosely outline. You don't need anything formalized. You don't need something on paper. This is informational. It's casual. But you do want to show that you have direction and that you have a certain cadence to how you want the meeting to go. So one example agenda that I like to lead with is just a two-part. So what you say is, thanks so much for coming in for meeting up with me today. I'd love to, spend this time learning about your career and also your current role as I'm interested in that. And then, before we do that, I'd love to share, if you'd like to share some context about my career and why I want to set up this discussion today. Now, does that sound good to you? And important and why that's a good type of agenda is what you're doing is two things. You're setting sort of your goal or what you want to get out of the meeting by learning about them, but also giving them the idea that you're willing to share and give them background and context into why you're in that meeting in the first place. And then finally, checking in with them to see if that's a good dialogue for them, if that's what they had in mind too, and give them the ability to kind of change anything that they want on their end. Chances are they won't say anything. They'll say, "Okay, sounds good, let's go," and then it's your opportunity to jump into the meeting. So what you could do from there is just launch into a little bit about your background, keep it brief, and proceed into the 25 minutes or the full length of the informational discussion. So really it's those three major things to lead off in that first 5 minutes of an informational discussion. It's the small talk, keeping it simple, keeping it something that you can have common with the person with. It's thanking them for their time and showing you're appreciative that they're there. And then finally, it's going to be setting the agenda and making sure you're setting the framework for the overall discussion and giving them expectations up front. That part is crucial to having an effective informational interview so you get everything out of them and that you also create a good impression with them, because who knows, maybe down the road this could be the person that's hiring you. So that's the video today. I kept it shorter than last week. Hope you appreciated it, and please leave any comments or questions in the YouTube channel that I'm just starting or on the blog itself. Happy to do so. Again, my name is Brendan Barca, Straddle the Line. Reporting to you live from my new Brooklyn apartment, so anyone in New York, feel free to hit me up. But thanks so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.